Hi, this is a yoga session for the visually impaired. I will be using a yoga strap, but you could use a belt or the belt from a dressing gown or maybe a towel. We're going to sit down. If you've got a yoga mat, sit on your yoga mat, otherwise just sit on the carpet. So you're going to sit with your legs crossed. Okay, if this is uncomfortable or tight for your hips, you can sit on a pillow or a folded up towel. So sitting with your legs crossed, we're going to take your hands onto your knees and sit with your spine nice and long. Drop the shoulders down away from the ears and open your chest. Okay, now taking one hand onto your belly, we're going to do belly breathing. So on an inhale, you're inhaling into the belly, filling the belly like a balloon. And then exhale, drawing the navel in towards the spine. So again, inhaling into the belly, trying to keep the chest and the ribs still. And then exhale, letting it all out. Okay, continue belly breathing in your own time, making sure you're keeping your spine long. Taking one more big inhale and exhale. Then releasing the hand off the belly, making sure the spine is nice and long, shoulders down away from the ears. We're going to start linking our breath with movement. Taking your right hand down to your side or down onto the mat next to you. You're going to inhale, lifting the left arm up above your head, and then exhale, reaching that arm over to the right. So you're feeling a lovely stretch down the left side here, keeping the chest open. One more inhale, and exhale, releasing that left hand down to your side. Inhale, lifting the right arm, and exhale, reaching that arm over to the left. So again, keeping the chest open, feeling that stretch down the right side. One more inhale, and exhale, releasing the right hand down to your side. Now inhale, lifting the left arm, reaching up to the ceiling. And exhale, taking that left hand to your right knee. You'll take your right hand behind you, down on the floor behind you, and then you're going to twist, turning your face to the back. So you're twisting to the right, spine is long, draw the navel in towards the spine as you twist, and you're turning your face to the back. And slowly release. Then inhale, lifting the right arm up to the ceiling. And exhale, taking the right hand to your left knee. Take the left hand behind you to the floor and then twisting to turn your face behind you. So you're twisting to the left, spine is long, draw the navel in towards the spine as you twist. And slowly release. Now interlacing your fingers, pushing the palms out in front of you, and then on an inhale, reaching the arms up above your head. And slowly release. Okay, we'll come into a tricep stretch. So this is where you might want a strap or a belt or a towel. Okay, we'll start by lifting the left arm up towards the ceiling. So reaching the left hand up to the ceiling. And then you're going to bend that left elbow, taking the left hand just to the top of your back. So now your elbow is sticking up towards the ceiling. Okay, using your right hand to gently push on that left elbow, walking your left fingers down your spine, keeping your chest open here and spine long. Try not to hunch forwards. Now take your right hand down to your right side and then reach it up behind your back. See if you can grab your left fingers with your right fingers, or if you can't quite reach, this is where you can use your strap. So holding your strap in each hand and opening the chest on each inhale, lengthening the spine as well. And slowly release. Okay, we'll do that on the other side. So reaching the right hand up to the ceiling, reaching all the way up, and then bending that right elbow. So you're taking your right hand to the top of your back. So now your right elbow is pointing up to the ceiling. Using your left hand to gently push on the right elbow, walking your right fingers down the spine. So you're keeping your chest open and spine long here. Then taking your left hand down to the side and reaching it up behind your back to see if you can either grab hold of your other fingers, or you could use your strap here, holding the strap in each hand and keeping the chest open on each inhale and the spine long. And slowly release. Now walking your hands out in front of you, down on the ground, walking your fingers forward, and then inhale, opening the chest, lengthen the spine. Exhale, taking the chest forwards. Maybe if you can, take your elbows down to the mat. And slowly walking the hands back up. Then taking the hands on the floor behind you with your fingers facing forward. On an inhale, lifting the chest, turning your face up to the ceiling. And slowly release. Okay, we're going to come into a tabletop pose. So that's on to hands and knees, onto all fours. So slowly getting yourself onto all fours. Okay, you want your shoulders to be above the wrists and your hips to be above the knees. Okay, we're going to loosen up the spine now with a cat-cow pose. So on an inhale, you're dropping your belly, tilting your pelvis, opening the chest, and turning your face up. And then on an exhale, you're rounding the spine, tucking the chin into the chest and drawing the navel in towards the spine. Again, inhale, expanding the chest, tilting the pelvis, turning the face up. And exhale, rounding the spine, taking your chin to chest. We'll do one more of each. So inhale, expanding the chest, turning your face up. And exhale, rounding the spine, chin to chest. coming back to a neutral tabletop. From your neutral tabletop, we're going to come into a puppy pose. So keeping your hips above your knees where they are, but now walking your hands forward as far as you can reach, taking your head down towards the mat, maybe even your chin down onto the mat. So here you're dropping your chest down towards the mat. A lovely shoulder stretch here. And slowly walking the hands back up into tabletop position. Okay, now we're going to come into a sunbird pose. Okay, starting in your tabletop, you're going to lift your right foot, straightening the right leg. Okay, and lifting the foot. So you want that right leg in line with your spine. You want your core engaged and the spine long. Okay, you can either stay here or you can lift your left arm, reaching your left hand forwards. So again, you need to keep the spine long here, the core engaged in order to keep your balance. Really reach that left hand forward and reach that right foot back. One more inhale. And exhale, releasing that hand and that knee back down to the mat. So back to tabletop. We'll do the same on the other side. So first, we're going to straighten the left leg and lift that left foot. So you want a nice straight line with your left leg and your spine, keeping the core engaged. You can either stay here if you'd like to try. We're going to lift the right arm, reaching the right hand forwards. So you need to keep your core strong, your core engaged, and your spine long. Really reach that right hand forward and reach that left foot back. One more inhale and exhale, releasing the hand and the knee back down to the mat, back into tabletop. We're going to come into a child's pose. So now taking the knees apart, sitting the hips all the way back down towards your heels, taking your head down to the mat and reaching the arms out in front. And walking the hands and the upper body over to the left. So you're stretching over the left knee. And walking the hands and the upper body over to the right. So you're stretching over the right knee. And slowly walking back to the middle, slowly coming back up to tabletop. Okay, we're going to come into downward dog. This is the one that looks like an upside down V shape. Okay, so we're going to tuck the toes under. We're going to start to lift your knees, taking your chest towards your thighs. Then slowly lifting the hips, start to straighten the legs if you can. So keeping the spine long. Chest is going towards your thighs. Your feet are about hip width apart here. Your fingers are spread wide, pushing the palms and fingers down into the mat. If your calves are feeling tight, you can start to loosen out the calves by walking out the legs here. So you can try bending one knee, pushing the other heel down towards the mat. And then slowly switching, bending the other knee, pushing the other heel down to the mat. And then slowly walking the legs out, loosening out the calves. And then come to stillness in down dog, pushing both heels down towards the mat. They don't need to reach the mat. Keeping the spine long, sending the chest towards the thighs. If you need to keep both knees slightly bent, that's fine. Your heels are heavy. One more inhale here. And on an exhale, slowly dropping the knees down to the mat, coming back to tabletop. Okay, we'll come into a low lunge. So bringing the right foot forward in between your hands. Okay, that right knee should be above your right ankle. Keeping your hips squared to the front. Then on an inhale, reaching the arms all the way up, hands towards the ceiling. One more inhale. And exhale, dropping the hands down to the mat. Okay, we're going to come into a lizard pose. So now taking your hands to the inside of your right foot. Walking the right foot out towards the right edge of the mat. Or if you don't have a mat, just walking that right foot out to the right by a few inches. If you can, rolling onto the outer edge of your right foot. So the side where your little toe is, rolling onto that side. You can either stay up here on your hands, or you can walk your hands forward slightly and then maybe try dropping down to your elbows. This is lizard pose. It's a deep hip stretch. Slowly coming back up to your hands, walking that right foot back to the middle, slowly coming back to tabletop pose. So onto your hands and knees, onto all fours. Okay, we'll do that on the other side. So coming into our low lunge, you're going to bring the left foot forward in between your hands. Okay, so you want the left knee over the ankle, hips squared to the front. And on an inhale, reaching both arms up to the ceiling. One more inhale. And exhale, dropping the hands back down to the mat. Okay, coming into our lizard pose, you're going to take the hands to the inside of that left foot. Then walk the left foot out a few inches to the left and rolling onto the outer edge of that left foot if you can. Okay, so only the side of the foot where the little toe is now touching the ground. Your hands are on the inside of that foot. You can either stay up here on your hands, or you can walk your hands forward and then drop down onto your elbows. And slowly coming back up onto your hands, walking that left foot back to the middle, and slowly coming back to tabletop. So onto your hands and knees, onto all fours. Okay, now staying on your knees, but bringing your body all the way up, taking your hands to the hips. So it's like you're standing here now, but you're on your knees. Okay, we're going to come into a heart opener called camel pose. So for option 1, you can just send your hips forward, start to lean back, open the chest up towards the ceiling and turn your face up to the ceiling. Okay, this is option 1. If you want to try option 2, you can release your hands down to your heels, taking your right hand onto your right heel and your left hand onto your left heel. Now, if you do this option, make sure you're rolling your shoulders back, lifting the chest, and your face is turned up to the ceiling. You can always keep your hands on your hips if you prefer. And slowly coming back up, hands on hips. Okay, we're going to counter this with a child's pose. So taking the knees apart, sitting the hips all the way back down to your heels, reaching the arms out in front, down onto the ground, taking your head all the way down to the mat. Slowly coming out of your child's pose and come to lying down on your mat on your back. So lying on your back, we're going to hug the knees into the chest. So hugging both knees into the chest. Have a little rock side to side here, massaging the lower back. Okay, then hugging just your right knee into the chest, lengthening the left leg down onto the mat. Okay, then using your left hand to take that right knee over to the left and take your right arm out to the right. So you're feeling a twist here as that right knee goes to the left. Slowly bringing the right knee back to the center. Then switching sides, so hugging the left knee into your chest, straighten and lengthen that right leg down to the mat. Then using your right hand to take that left knee over to the right and take your left arm out to the left. And slowly back to the middle. Okay, with the knees bent and both feet flat on the mat, we're going to come into eye of the needle pose. So taking your right ankle onto your left thigh, then pushing the right knee away from you. Now reach your hands through your legs to grab your left thigh and pull it towards you. So pulling the left thigh towards your chest and then flexing both feet. And slowly release. Okay, we'll switch sides, taking the left ankle onto your right thigh. Reaching your hands through your legs around the sides of your right thigh, pulling your right thigh up and towards you, and then flexing both feet. And slowly release. Okay, we're going to use your strap or your towel to come into a hamstring stretch. Okay, so looping the strap over your right foot, we're going to push your right heel up towards the ceiling and then lengthen the left leg down to the mat. Now taking both sides of that strap into your left hand, Take the right arm out to your right, and we're going to take that right foot towards the left for our ITB stretch. So you've got the strap in your left hand, taking the foot over towards the left, and your right arm is out at your right side. And slowly release. Okay, we'll switch sides. So looping the strap over your left foot, we're going to push the left heel up towards the ceiling and then lengthen the right leg down onto the mat. Now taking the strap into your right hand, take the left arm out to your left and take that left foot over towards the right for our ITB stretch. And slowly release. Okay, we're going to come into Shavasana, our final resting pose. So you can either keep your knees bent, let your knees fall in towards each other, or you can straighten your legs, lengthen your legs, take your feet down towards the corners of the mat. Taking your hands at your sides, palms facing up, and releasing the shoulders down into the mat. Then on an inhale, clenching your fists, scrunching up your fingers, and exhale, release. And inhale, clenching your feet, scrunching up your toes, and exhale, release. And inhale, clenching your face, and exhale, release. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, slowly bending your knees, and then slowly rolling onto your right side for another couple of breaths. And when you're ready, slowly coming back up to sitting. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this.